I'm a board certified dermatologist, and here's 5 tips I give to my patients to get that pimple looking as good as possible before you make it to the dance. When I was in medical school, I was told the only emergency in dermatology is a pimple on prom night.
This is for all you lovers out there.
My first tip is do not pick your pimples. When you pick your pimples and you push on them, you might get a little bit of stuff that comes out of the top, but it's very possible that when you push from the outside, you're going to break the pimple open not only on the top, but also underneath the skin. And when you do that, a lot of that material that you see come out the top actually breaks open underneath your skin, and it recruits more inflammation, more redness, and the pimple will actually start to look worse. We've all been there. We're all guilty of doing that. But just remember, try to resist the urge to pick that pimple, especially if it's not at the surface. It's going to be painful, and it's going to make it look worse before you get to the dance. The second thing that you can do if you wake up with a pimple the morning of the dance or the week of the dance is to use quality spot treatments that you get over the counter. Some of my favorites are going to be salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide. What you'll do is you'll take the product and you'll apply a little bit to the pimple, and I generally like to rub it in a little bit so that it soaks in, and then put another little dab on top. You don't need to cake it on, but you want to have a little bit to cover. You can go throughout your day like that or sleep with it on, and hopefully your pimple will be looking better the next morning or before you wash it off and get ready for the dance. Number 3 is to wear pimple patches or hydrocolloid patches. There's a lot of different brands of pimple patches available, and some of them are infused with ingredients like niacinamide or salicylic acid to act as anti-inflammatories on the pimple. You can wear them for just a few hours, or you can wear them overnight depending on how much time you have before the dance. The Mighty Patch is a well-known brand that you can get over the counter, and I've used Zit Sticker as well, and I've been impressed with both. When using a pimple patch, you want to clean the skin really well. You want to remove excess oil from the skin so that the patch will actually stick and do its job. Once you clean the skin, you want to peel the patch off very carefully, trying not to get your fingers all over the adhesive side. Then gently apply it to the pimple, and then resist the urge to touch it. Pimple patches can also be great if you're going to be doing some activities before the dance with friends, because you can put it on there and keep it clean regardless of what you're going to go out and do. My 4th tip to deal with a pimple on prom night is, if you can, go and see an esthetician. Estheticians are great to help with skincare, and they have a lot of tools to help get rid of those surface blemishes and make them look good. They can help to do extractions, which is what you want to do when you're at home, but it's hard if you don't have the right tools. Dermatologists and estheticians are going to have tools like lancets or needles, and then comedone extractors so that you can open up the pimple and then gently express the material without applying pressure that's going to make it open up underneath the skin. Many estheticians are also going to have great treatments that you can apply that will help the pimples to look better within a matter of a few hours. And my last tip, if you wake up with a pimple on prom night, is to visit a dermatologist. I know that's not always realistic because we can be hard to get into sometimes, but a dermatologist or a PA inside a dermatology office or a nurse practitioner inside a dermatology office can do things like steroid injections. If that's a really deep pimple that's just not coming up to the surface, that can make it feel better overnight and significantly reduce the size of that pimple or that cyst that's popping up under the skin due to all of your stress. It's a pretty quick procedure to do, so if you call a dermatologist's office and you tell them you have a cyst and you just need it injected, oftentimes you can get in pretty quickly and get that done with one of the providers there. If it's a last-minute appointment, don't plan on getting a whole customized acne regimen though. You're there for one thing: get that pimple looking as good as possible before you get on with the rest of your week or the rest of your day and date. Now, ideally, you're not going to have a pimple that pops up the week of the prom or the morning of the prom, but it happens sometimes. But if you struggle with acne chronically, that's when it's best to visit a board-certified dermatologist and get on an acne regimen if you need prescription-strength ingredients that's going to help not only treat the pimples that you have, but to prevent new ones from coming up. Some of my favorite ingredients for that are going to be retinols and going to be things like salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, and then there are prescription treatments like prescription-strength retinoids, and then topical antibiotics like clindamycin or minocycline. When it's appropriate, you might also be prescribed things like oral antibiotics, and then for those who have significant acne, especially if it's at risk for causing scarring, Accutane may be appropriate for you, and that's only after a discussion with the dermatologist. If you have questions about acne or pimple management, drop them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer as many as I can and serve as inspiration for future videos. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you back again soon.